good evening, wherever you are world over. Green morning, green afternoon, and green evening to all my brothers and sisters and our fellow friends world over across in the different countries, different time zones, in the different continents, wherever you are. We extend you a
Good morning, good afternoon.
very warm greetings from India. So, ladies and gentlemen, while extending you this warm welcome, wherever you are, we hope that you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your wellness, and you're taking care of not only your family, but your neighbors, your community, and the people those are in your vicinity. You're taking care of everyone the best possible way. So, ladies and gentlemen, yet another very powerful evening. We are having today 155, that means 155, 155वां webinar, Making Education Relevant. It's a global confluence of educators, corporate, research scholars, entrepreneurs, startups, micro, small, and medium enterprise entrepreneurs, and employment providers. This evening, in the role of ecosystem in entrepreneurship, we have got a very distinguished guest who is going to share his thought process with us because the Sector Scale Council from the NSDC brought him with great efforts. And I have been told that he has got a lot to share, his vision, his expertise, and he is going to give a lot to our millennials and the younger generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Himanshu Pokhariya, who is the founder of Udyam Sutra, because in English you call Ashoka, but otherwise it should be called Ashok. Similar way, somebody may call it Sutra, but in Hindi you got to take it what exactly it is. When he's talking about Udham, that means you got to be Udhmi. You got to do Parishram. That part is very important. And we got to be taken care of. That's what is my interpretation, and I could understand when I have gone through. So, ladies and gentlemen, while extending a hearty welcome to all of you, all my brothers and sisters, those are having morning jog, morning walk, morning cup of coffee, morning tea, those are there in Canada, those are in Latin America, those are in United States, whether on the eastern coast or the western coast, and those have just had a lunch, and those are in Europe in the different countries. Coming a little further, you have already enjoyed your evening tea and coffee. Those are in Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. Ladies and gentlemen, from there I will bring you to South Asia when I come to Afghanistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. And then let's take a swirl around Bharat, so-called India, and I take you to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Doha, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and then of course going a little further down when I say a lot of people are joining us from Bahrain also, our Indian families. I'm grateful to all of you. And now let me take you to beautiful 650 million population in the ASEAN, where the Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and Vietnam, all the 10 countries which we have got over there, we extend you all a very hearty welcome. Although it's quite late, but then people like Dr. Christie, they join us from Taiwan. People from Sankalp, they join us from South Korea. And my monk friends, they join us from different parts of Japan also. We extend you a very hearty welcome. और अब मैं आता हूं उस पवित्र भूमि पर, भारत की उस भूमि पर, जहां से आज के इस शाम के कार्यक्रम का आप सब लोगों के लिए आयोजन किया जा रहा है। और इस प्रोग्राम को हम आगे लेकर चल रहे हैं कि आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं। और हमारे साथ आज की शाम हिमांशु पोखरिया जी, जो आदरणीय हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में आज हमारे साथ अपने विचार रखेंगे, अपनी बातचीत बताएंगे, बच्चों को प्रोत्साहित करेंगे, बच्चों को नई दिशा देंगे। जो बच्चे इस समय एंजाइटी में हैं, स्ट्रेस में हैं, डिप्रेशन में हैं, आपको उसमें नहीं जाना है, बिकॉज इफ मेंटली यू आर स्ट्रांग, यू कैन टेक केयर ऑफ योर बॉडी, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम। Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, मुझे इंग्लिश भाषा का इस्तेमाल इसलिए करना पड़ेगा कि बहुत सारे भारतीय तो बाहर हैं ही हैं, लेकिन उनके साथ बहुत सारे नेटिव्स भी जुड़ते हैं डिफरेंट कंट्रीज से. सो आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग विद ऑल ऑफ यू, सिंस 1994 the non-resident Indians confluence is getting together in India And at present, there are more than 30 million non-resident Indians abroad in different countries world over, in different time zone, in different continents, in different countries. Now, initially in India from 1994, there used to be a Punjabi Parvasi Divas that was being held, or that is being held at present also. It takes place, that is on 13th of January, because that's a Lohri festival of Punjabis. In 2003, there was a presentation to the then Honorable Prime Minister of India, and there was a birth of Bharatiya Parvasi Divas. And from there, it started on 9th of January, because Mahatma Gandhi ji returned from South Africa to India on 9th of January. So while extending a hearty welcome to all of you during this pandemic, because like doctors, nurses, and paramedical people, they are doing wonders. They're great warriors. Our education ecosystem fraternity, they are also doing wonderful job. So we have dedicated this entire series, Let Us Make Education Relevant. When we talk about it, ladies and gentlemen, during this lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and main part of the universe, education is deeply, deeply affected. But from India, we say, Vasudev Kutumbakam, one world, one love, one family, all of us, we are together. Ladies and gentlemen, heartiest congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the Education Minister and the entire ecosystem, all the officers and the entire people, those are in the ecosystem of education in India. The new education policy, which is announced on 29th of July, wonderful. School education is going to have the new pedagogy. And as far as the higher education, it's going to have a new andragogy. It's wonderful, which you have to think of, you have to plan. Now, in education, we have taken the seat and we have taken the privilege. What is the purpose of education? Why education? Why to go to school? Why to go to college? Why to pick up particular skill? That part is very important, which we have to take into consideration. And over there, ladies and gentlemen, we got to understand, we got to take a role that what is important is, does that education have relevance in our day-to-day living? During this coronavirus, we all must have understood that if your child has done electrician diploma and if he doesn't know how to repair electricity at home, then that diploma is theoretical. If your child has done a plumber course from a particular polytechnic and he doesn't know that how to repair a particular tap, then it means it's theoretical. So all the research which is coming from world over, the next crisis, misunderstanding, and the problems world over is going to be on water, water shortage, water crisis, and particularly consumable water. So every evening we get 5 children of ours, 5 warriors of ours, 5 stars of ours with the main distinguished speaker, and they give their version for a minute or two. What do they think about how the water can be saved in India? Women empowerment is very, very important, because when you educate a male child, you educate individual. When you educate female child, you educate subsequent generations. So many people in the entire chronology they get. Now, Monday to Sunday, yes, you rightly heard, it's not Monday to Friday, it's Monday to Sunday. There is no break. Every day, 7 to 8 p.m., we are together in the evening in this journey where we share, we talk, we deliberate, and there's a confluence where we bring the expertise for all of you and we discuss what is to be done. Our chamber from morning 9 till evening 9 p.m., 12 hours non-stop beaming, which is done world over. We are reaching Mongolia, we are reaching Central Asia, we are reaching Central Asia, we are reaching all the way to Peru. The Pratap Singh ji, our chairman over there, because people speak Spanish language over there. We are going to Latin America as well, and we are trying to help out all the countries and all the people over there as well. 15th of July, that's basically a skills day for the youth. And we started a series called YES program, Youth Empowerment Strategies. So ladies and gentlemen, these youth are wonderful. These millennials are wonderful. The startup, the stand-up, the entrepreneurship ventures, when we talk about, they have got so many ideas. And ultimately, we got to understand in education system, skilling program, what does youth want? And what do they have got to share with us? So ladies and gentlemen, Monday to Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Wednesday, so we have got this program, and that's the way we go by. I take you, so come Friday, We go to 500 million plus people, Buddhism followers world over. And International Buddhist Confederation, the Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, he brings the confluence of the Buddhist teachings. What is their relevance in our education system today? That is being discussed. And then we come further, ladies and gentlemen, and we move on when we talk about it. Here is on Saturday evening. When we talk about Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen, at 5:30 p.m., we talk about arise, awake, stop not, till the goal is achieved and reached. That part is very important. So Swami Vivekananda's teaching for education and youth empowerment. And if you all recollect, 11th of September, 1893, almost 127 years back, Swami Vivekananda gave the iconic speech at Chicago, Sisters and Brothers of America. And that's what we are trying to empower every youth. Then comes Saturday evening at 7 p.m. We have to take care of your health also. Nobody should have spondylitis. Nobody should have shoulder pains. So whenever you're watching any webinar, keep doing exercise like this. It will help you a lot. So yoga, meditation, naturopathy, organic, whatsoever best can be done. We are looking forward to the best startups, best inputs, whatsoever come. We started with Ministry of Ayush, and now Namo Gange and others, they have joined Ayurveda for the global wellness. Then comes Sunday morning at 9:30. Professor Satinder Dhiman from the Woodbury University, Burbank, California. He comes live and he talks to us. What is ancient heritage of India? भारत विश्व गुरु कैसे था और भारत को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनना है. What is the journey from Vidya से अध्यात्म विद्या की ओर? An integrative series of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and 10 principal Upanishads. Because what is the relevance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in today's education system? That's what we have got for all of you. And then comes Sunday evening at 5:30. And over here we talk about India ASEAN series, where basically we are talking about the Northeast. Our focus is on Northeast India. There are 8 beautiful states to which the India's Prime Minister calls Ashta Lakshmi. That's what we talk about. And then comes the final program on Sunday evening, micro, small and medium enterprise. When we talk about this is at 7 p.m. on Sunday evening, when Rabindranath Ji, the former CMD, he shares the vision and he brings the best of practices to all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise is doing wonderful. People, those are interested to have a startups, you have got. I'm thankful to Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhariyal, who's the CEO of the Management and Entrepreneurship and Professional Skill Council. Along with him, Santosh Kumar Ji, I know he's sweating, he's working hard. He's trying to get the best of the people in the ecosystem so that the youth can be empowered. So ladies and gentlemen, all of us together in this journey, this is the final when I show a little bit to you the research which our chamber has carried out from the world over. It's almost a confluence of 149 countries, inputs which we have got in the research. The new order of the world will be sustainable development. B2B will not be business to business. It will be back to basics of life. And when we talk back to basics of life, your first priority should be your basic food. Second should be your health. And third thing is your digital education, e-education, e-learning, flip learning, blended learning, outside the classroom learning, whatsoever you want to tell. So ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together, making education relevant, all of us together. Now, these millennials before the COVID, what were they thinking? Because this evening, when our distinguished guest is going to share a lot of his thought process, what these millennials were thinking and what they were ready before the COVID-19. And when we talk about it, now they are worried and they require special touch. They require special openings and what all can be done during the COVID-19 and what should we do, how should we do, what can be done. Number of things are coming on that. So these millennials, they are the anxious generation. They want to prove to be technology reliant. They want to make optimum use of social media. And of course, youth, children, my children and my grandchildren, when I talk about you, your voice matters. Your voice matters a lot. We want to listen to our youth. And what does youth want? We are going to start a special program from Monday where we are going to get further journey, and we're going to get lots of youth into that program. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thankful to Colonel Menon, who is our advisor in India, and he's the one who is packaging this entire series. As far as these 5 children, they come every evening. Today you have got Jai, you've got Nidhi, you've got Venna, you've got Vaishnavi, you've got Ambika. And after our distinguished main speaker, guest of the evening, when he will talk, these are the stars of the evening. They will talk to us for a minute or two, how the water to be saved, what exactly can be done. They are the celebrity this evening. So principals, teachers, counselors, those are interested to get their children in this particular program, kindly get in touch with Colonel Menon. And these 5 kids, I would request you, because you have got another 3, 4, 5 minutes before the program starts, and thereafter the main speaker speaks, you have got another half an hour. So open your YouTube, and when you open your YouTube, on the YouTube you open Dr. Gulshan Sharma's channel. When you open Dr. Gulshan Sharma's channel, you will have lots of people from the world over coming on that. Share your vision over there. Say good evening to everybody. Link up with the whole world. Try and get across to the people, because more and more you share the information. Because I do not know, I got to understand and learn from these youngsters. They feel very shy to register in the webinar and come directly over here. They want to come on the YouTube and all. But I have requested Colonel Menon that children, those are coming in this program in the webinar, they should get the certificate directly from us. And that's what we should encourage, because we should know. So this is a small gesture for our evening guest. I wish to play this song for you. This is the creation as a startup from our chamber, which we are dedicating to the whole world, and with the new education policy. And thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, I will bring on the main forum our guest of the honor of the evening. So 2.5 minutes, I just go for this special song where India has to become Vish Guru once again.
विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर, शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर सबका ही कल्याण करो। भारत का सम्मान करो, भारत का सम्मान करो। उज्ज्वल शिक्षक पूर्ण जगत में छा जाओ। आर्यभट्ट से उज्ज्वल शिक्षक पूर्ण जगत में छा जाओ। श्रेष्ठ वर्ग के तारे बनकर अपना नाम भी चमकाओ। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर, शिक्षा के पथ पे आगे बढ़कर सबका ही कल्याण करो। शंखनाद से सकल जगत में गौरवमय गुणगान करो। गगन कल्पना एपीजे कलाम और भगत सिंह बन जाओ। साहस भर के झांसी जैसा जीवन का बलिदान करो। गगन कल्पना एपीजे कलाम और भगत सिंह बन जाओ। साहस भर के झांसी जैसा जीवन का बलिदान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो। विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, भारत का सम्मान करो।
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the song we have dedicated with the new education policy to India. And here is the distinguished guest of this evening, Mr. Himanshu Pokhariya. We extend a very, very hearty welcome to this gentleman. He is the founder of Udyam Sutra, global community for entrepreneurs and businesses. Worked on policy formulation for the micro, small and medium enterprise with the Ministry of MSME, Government of India. He worked in senior management roles across media and communication industry with DDB, Doom and Bradstreet and Bertelsmann. He has done his studies at IIM Indore and MITS Gwalior. He's the alumni from there. Ladies and gentlemen, the byline which we have got over here, you must see his website. I would request him during his presentation, he must share his website, because my entire team across from the different places has told me that he has done a remarkable job on his web portal, what he has got. And each one of us, those are interested to get into startup, stand up, and anything you want to become, if you want to get into the entrepreneurship, you must go through his web portal. So Udyami Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Sampann Bharat. When we talk about it, ladies and gentlemen, with this, let me drop the curtains and get the main celebrity of the evening right over here, Himanshu Pokhariya ji. First of all, our deep gratitudes and thanks to you on behalf of our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, that you have joined us this evening, and he's right over here. So ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, try and make best use of this evening, because here is the celebrity of the evening, and we all want to learn a lot and pick up a lot, and I want to be the best student this evening. With these words, I would request you to kindly unmute your mic, please, and thereafter, then we take on. Hearty welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you with us, Himanshu ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's pleasure being here with all of you. Perfect. So I think while you were speaking, I picked up certain points, and generally from a presentation standpoint, I generally keep it very crisp, but I think I take this opportunity to pick some of the cues that you had put forward in your words, and that's how I build presentations, in an extempo manner. So while you were playing all this thing, all the videos, I took liberty to put some additional slides to it so that I can start talking about what I believe from the taglines that we have picked up from our platform. Right. Just a second. I think I'll just let me quickly first share the screen. Yeah. So please let me know once the screen is visible.
It's visible. It's visible.
Perfect. So I think I started, I wanted to start here, right, with the role of ecosystems in entrepreneurship, but I think there were a couple of very interesting points that you brought up. One was definitely the mention of Swami Vivekananda, because from my ideal standpoint, Swami Vivekananda, Chanakya, and basically they definitely form my ideals overall. Right. So I think I definitely want to deep dive upon one of the points of Vivekananda that you brought up. In today's scenario, yes, he laid the foundation of a lot of things that we experience today. I think to all the people who we are interacting with today, I think one of the most important quotes of his that I can think of is around stand up, be bold, and be strong. Take the responsibility on your shoulders and know that you are the creator of your own destiny, right? So I think the youth that we are interacting with today, definitely they on them lies the future of not only our country but our societies, the countries, and the world in totality. So hence, if you look at the entrepreneurship ecosystem, also the role of the younger generation, the newer the tech entrepreneurs is very critical in the overall growth of economies across the world. And that is our endeavor through Udyam Sutra, is how do we bring these ecosystems together to interact over a technology platform. Right. So I think the word Udyam Sutra, just to lay emphasis. So Udyam is a Sanskrit word for enterprise. And Sutra is the formula. So basically all the ingredients or the formula to make an enterprise successful is what we call it as Udyam Sutra, basically, right? So I think I'll quickly start with the story, I think, while you were taking us through. So I think this is one of the major areas of conflict in everyone's mind, right? Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra. Because so I think when as Indians, when we read Mahabharata, Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra doesn't only relate to the battle between the good and the bad, but there's a lot of battle between the Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra is continuously being churned within us, right? We ourselves are a battlefield. There is a good side to us, there is an evil side to us, and I think what we believe what I believe as a founder or as someone who's been an entrepreneur, that this ethical quotient of Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra becomes very, very important when it comes to businesses. Because if today when we see a lot of these problems where it comes to society or it comes to ecology, somewhere I feel that businesses have gone wrong morally. And unless that gets corrected over a longer period of time, struggle in terms of ecology, the inequalities that we see in societies and so on and so forth. So hence I thought this would be a very, while you were talking and when I saw you laying out the context, I quickly jotted down picked up these couple of slides in addition to what I wanted to show. So I think one of the biggest quagmire that we feel today, and that leads to a lot of dissatisfaction within us and discontentment within us, is unfulfilled desires, basically, right? And this typically leads to the birth of anger and greed and lust. I'll quickly share a story with you. It's an ancient story, and I think that'll help us lay the context of what we are trying to what we basically want to say. So there was this saint, very, very famous saint, and very, very committed saint, and all across the kingdom, people would come to him for the blessings and so on and so forth. He would go from kingdom to kingdom seeking bhiksha, right? A charity, if I want to use the English word of that. And so there was this kingdom where he settled down. So the king and the queen there wanted the saint to come and stay at their palace. So they invited so the king goes there and invites him to come and stay in his palace. Now, initially the saint was reluctant, but on multiple insistence of the king, he didn't come. So ultimately, the king goes on to say, invite sends his wife to invite the saint. Now, after the queen was very beautiful. Now, imagine a saint got infatuated with the queen and accepted her wish of coming and staying at his and the palace. Now, when he went there, he basically started staying there and stayed there for a longer period of time. After that, when he was reminded that you are a saint and your job is to go back and typically do meditation, he was reluctant.
No, it was going on well. It was going on fine. It's going on fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, let's start. Ambika, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so from our side, it's okay. So from his side, we have to see.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, child. Thank you. I got to just see. No worries, no worries, no worries. It happens sometime. No worries, no worries. So now in the evening, Nidhi will speak first, then we'll speak Ambika, then we'll have Vaishnavi, then we will have Veena, then we will have Jai. That is the sequence we will follow, okay, in the evening. So if you're back, we are waiting for you.
I think I am, yes.
Yes.
So I could, there was no voice at my end. So I think there was some network issue suddenly that propped up. I'm sorry for this, I think, the glitch.
No, it's perfectly fine. I'll just get you. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Share your presentation.
Just a minute. Just a minute, I'm sharing the presentation.
No, take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, it is there. It is there.
Perfect.
But we are missing that slide. You have taken that away.
Okay.
Second slide.
Yeah. I think it's there. It should be there visible now.
After this, there was Dharm Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Then there was second slide.
Correct.
That was unfulfilled desires and fulfilled desires.
Correct.
Yes, this is the one. This is the one.
Right.
The story now, he doesn't want to go back from the palace.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So then typically, but ultimately, one of the nights, his guru comes and basically says that you are a saint. You should be back where you belong. So he goes back. But again, the king, after some time, the king and the queen again wanted him to visit back and so on and so forth. So the king goes once, second time, third time. This time he was very, very reluctant. So when again, this time the king asks his queen to go and invite him. So then typically, then again he comes back. And the king says, we want you to stay back for us with us forever. So then he says, okay, if I have to stay back, what is it that you would require for us to stay back here? So he said that being a saint, despite being a saint, imagine typically his desires went to an extent when he said, okay, I like your queen. If you want me to stay back, I would want to basically have your queen as my wife, typically. So the desires, basically, unfulfilled desires typically lead man to a path where a saint, a person like a saint, typically gives away his path, which is an ethical path of his, and basically ventures into a path which typically is immorally incorrect and so on and so forth. So I think in businesses also that is becoming very, very critical. The ultimate motive of businesses today has gone on to become profits. In corporate meetings, in board meetings, we just talk about profitability, maximizing profits of shareholders, shareholder values, and so on and so forth. But I think we as businesses from here have to move beyond just profits. It has to now move to a level where we talk about sustainability, one of the aspects that you touched upon, but also take along the societies, the communities, the social aspects of that thing. And that is something we strongly have built, are looking to build as a part of the Udyam Sutra. So that was a small story that I wanted to take you through, right? So now basically when it comes to the entrepreneurship ecosystem, right? These are some of the eye openers that we wanted to say, that how vibrant this ecosystem is worldwide. So there are roughly around 635 million entrepreneurs that we speak about, which translate into some 530 million odd startups and MSMEs. And from last 3 years, this is the power of youth that we are talking about. There are 100 million startups open each year, right? From last 3 years is what we are talking about. India, yes, India contributes. If you look at the Indian numbers, we're talking about roughly 62 million odd startups and MSMEs in India, which create 11 crore jobs as of now. And Government of India, with the focus on MSMEs, is looking to increase the contribution of MSMEs in the GDP to a 50% by 2025. So hence, we will have a lot of opportunities in India in terms of not only starting up, but growing up also. Yes, there are certain challenges, and that is something that government, along with a lot of entrepreneurs and ecosystems, is what we are looking to put together. Despite all these figures, what we see as a challenge here is typically across the world also, barring some of these Silicon Valleys of the world and some of the cities in Israel and Germany, that due to this fragmented and non-accessible ecosystems, there are 3 types of struggles typically that we feel that entrepreneurs go through. One, definitely at a personal level, that a lot of time goes in terms of searching, connecting, and accessing resources. Second is a business struggle, that in globally we see that the survival rate of startups and MSMEs is just 10% over a 3 years period of time. The growth and scaling, this is very, very unique to India, where we say that out of every 100 enterprises that exist, 95 are micro and 4% are small and medium, and just 1% large. When we compare this to some of the advanced economies, there the companies are able to grow much, much faster. There out of every 100 every 100 enterprises, there are just 50 micro. So that means in India, what we don't see is that companies don't scale up from micro enterprises and go on to become small and medium and large enterprises. And the third struggle, which I think in India, which is very, very common, we see that people tend to move to Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay to have better access to ecosystem. And hence we see a lot of migration from villages to larger cities in search for better ecosystem, better access to systems, and so on and so forth. So I think this is what we wanted basically to put together. How do we address this at a national level and then at a global level, to bring this ecosystem and help these younger entrepreneurs in terms of how do we help them survive better and also help them grow their businesses over a period of time. So I think what is important is this ecosystem that we are talking about. I think in one of the slides, you touched upon the educational policy and the educational ecosystem. And that is also very relevant in terms of our on the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So typically there are what my understanding of the entrepreneurship ecosystem across the world says, there are 4 typical ecosystems that need to come together and interact with each other for us to make India a Vishwaguru or make India an entrepreneurial hub, global entrepreneurial hub. One is definitely the knowledge ecosystem that you have touched upon, the HR policy, the other aspects of knowledge, right? The knowledge ecosystem, the business ecosystem, which is about your supply chain, value chain, the back-end IT infrastructures, and so on and so forth. The innovation ecosystem in India, these two don't interact much, because in India, if we look at the incubation and the research aspect of our universities and the incubation, the companies that get incubated in our universities, that is still very, very less when we compare it to, let's say, an Israel or a Germany, or for that matter, America or Canada. So I think this ecosystem in last couple of years is definitely picking up, and we see a lot of new companies being incubated in universities, and we also see a lot of interaction between the local units of local enterprises and the academia coming in, which when these two ecosystems, which is the business ecosystem and knowledge ecosystem, interact, that is where we see the innovation starts happening. So I think in India, we are at a very, very nascent stage of building entrepreneurship ecosystem. What we have added overall as a company, what we feel that all these ecosystems need to function and take into consideration the social ecosystems. Otherwise, we will continue to meet the challenges of pollution, of inequalities in wealth, and some societies and communities being left behind, and so on and so forth. So I think this, while I was going through, while you were taking us through the presentation and the entire setup of this, the modules that you are taking through, the educational institution, the educational policies, the colleges and universities not only would play a larger part in terms of shaping the mindset and the future of the youth, but also they have a very, very integral part in the entire job creation, wealth creation, and also the entrepreneurship, new enterprise creation. Because that is where, if we look at whether we look at a Stanford or a UCLA or a Harvard, we see some of the best of the companies have come out from these campuses. In India also, the research institution and the academic institution, right from the ideation stage, I foresee that these institutions have to start playing a very vital role in terms of grooming the mindset of these children to start taking those initiatives to start their companies and support them to scale up and scale up those companies. So that's the ecosystem that Udyam Sutra is looking to put together, right from the scaling stage. When you have an idea, a lot of these youngsters who are a part of this webinar today are college goers, or maybe will be stepping out of colleges. I think the mindset in terms of people and the youth have to start taking entrepreneurship as a career option. Today, what we feel and what we see in campuses, when I was in campus, most of us, rather all of us, were keen on picking up a consulting job, or see as one of us, our batchmates, saw ourselves in one of these consulting companies or some of the other MNCs in terms of high dollar value packages in terms of compensation. But I think this idea of starting their own businesses was never an option. Neither were we basically groomed to think that entrepreneurship is also a career option, just like being a consultant or an engineer or a management professional. So I think, yes, the youth here will play a vital role. So would be our education policies and our educational and research institution. These two aspects in terms of research and incubation acceleration is where I see that academic institutions will play a vital role if India has to go on to become an entrepreneurial hub and a Vishwaguru, because ultimately the Vishwaguru will be all about how equally you've been able to distribute wealth and create wealth creation, because a society which is prosperous will be able to lead the globe, the other societies and the other communities. So that brought us to a solution while we were contemplating as to what is lacking in this ecosystem. If we talk about global numbers, that there are more than 500 million odd enterprises across the world and 62 million in India, physically reaching them would have always been a challenge. And while we were doing this entire mapping as to how do we bring this ecosystem together, we realized that technology will be a critical play in this. And while we were doing a technology mapping across the world, we found that one side there was this Facebook, which is for peers or for acquaintances, and on the other side there is LinkedIn, which was more like a for professionals. Globally, we found there is no technology company which was for entrepreneurs and for businesses. And that is what we typically we built over a period of time as a technology solution, which is Udyam Sutra, which is a global community for entrepreneurs and businesses. So I think the way Dr. Gulshan Sharma had put it across in terms of stronger mindset and so on and so forth, for an entrepreneur, right? Mindset is the key thing. Your attitude is the most vital important thing. And hence our tagline, if you look at our tagline, it says be unstoppable, irrespective of what your situations are, what your scenarios are. If you believe in an idea, if you believe in your journey, there will be challenges, there will be times when People will, 99% of the people will question you while you will onboard that journey. But that your conviction, your values, your mindset is what will drive you through those difficult times. So I think that is what we want to communicate to the future generations, because the entrepreneurs is what we will create, what will create the future of the globe. So that's brought us to this thing. And our typically, if you look at our vision statement, is we're very clear in terms of our vision statement. It is about how do we scale entrepreneurship by connecting within and between global networks of entrepreneurial ecosystems and making them accessible through digitalization for enterprise sustainability and modeling. So scaling up entrepreneurship is typically what we look at, because that is where the success or the Indian success would lie in terms of becoming a Vishwaguru, creating jobs for every year. The way currently where we stand in terms of unemployment, every year we add 10 million people in terms of our unemployment list. Over next 5 decades, if we don't address this problem, we will be sitting on a large chunk of youth not having jobs in their hands. So I think one of the critical things that government in last couple of years have focused is definitely MSMEs, scaling up entrepreneurship. And I think this is where the solution to wealth creation and to jobs lies. And I think the government, and as Dr. Sharma also emphasized very clearly, that MSMEs and job creation and entrepreneurship is where the solution to these would lie. And hence that is our also focus to how do we get these ecosystems mobilized and support our young entrepreneurs to create those values in the ecosystem. So I think with that, I think our approach typically is all about, yes, government today, we all believe that vocal for local has picked up very strongly. But we also believe that vocal for local, if we have to move beyond the slogan, what we definitely bring together is global competitiveness. Because if let's say most of you are young, I'm sure there are aspirations, brand aspirations. Someone may be wearing a Calvin Klein jeans or a UCB t-shirt. So tomorrow, if our brands or our companies in India have to basically have that global, should be able to meet the aspirations of youth in terms of brand, in terms of quality, and hence our companies will have to become globally competitive. Apart from that, what we again feel, when I started, that enterprises in future cannot be just thinking about profitability, and hence we believe that enterprises in future will have to have a heart, so that they take along the local societies, the local communities with them, so that the disparity in terms of wealth, the standard of livings are also taken into consideration, and we basically move together as societies and communities. So I think that typically brings my presentation per se. I will definitely take 2 minutes or a couple of minutes more in terms of taking you through the platform, and then I'll maybe with Dr. Sharma's permission, maybe we can open it up for questions from there on.
It's going on beautiful. Take your own time. Take your own time.
Sure, perfect.
Yeah.
So that's about Udyam Sutra as we speak. Basically, that's our value proposition to all the aspiring entrepreneurs and MSMEs or the existing entrepreneurs. We say, yes, the journey is of growing up is difficult, and hence we very clearly we're saying it's hard to grow up, and it's hard to grow up. We make it easy, and our endeavor is to basically provide you access to essential resources, networks, and ecosystem, and because that is where you ultimately end up wasting a lot of time, and also a lot of companies are not able to scale up or don't survive because they do not have access to these networks and ecosystems across, right? So, and typically then we speak about who is this for. So quickly, I'll take you through what we typically do in this. We realized that again, our insight was that a lot of our MSMEs and startups are very comfortable with the UI and UX of Facebook, right? And our endeavor is basically to take that positioning that if Facebook is for peers, how do we go on to become globally Facebook for businesses as Udyam Sutra? So here what we are doing is we are looking to create a community, first of all, for entrepreneurs, for startups, for MSMEs, and this is how our landing page is. And typically here you can one-on-one interact with people. You can basically talk about your ideas. You can discuss in communities and bounce off your ideas, take inputs, take feedbacks, typically. And then you can do whatever you typically want to do, right from your identifying your ideas, identifying making your own groups and communities, and also establishing your network across the geographies. So that's the first thing, and obviously you can interact with people on a live scenario basis, saying, okay, if I want to talk to Dr. Sharma and who is connected on my network, I can do a direct chat one-on-one with him, and so on and so forth. Another functionalities and features that we basically to help this ecosystem to scale up and make resources accessible to them, because in this ecosystem we believe that the government support is very critical for startups and MSMEs, and the policy and the schemes intervention is very important. And today in India we find that Government of India sits across a couple of 45-50,000 odd portals where policies lie. So over what we basically are across for the convenience of our startups and MSMEs, whatever policies and schemes exist across India, across the states, the central governments and the banks, we are curating them here and making it and simplifying it for our entrepreneurs and startups to come and start using those directly from our platform, and utilizing those policies and benefits directly through the platform per se. Access to technology is something that we firmly believe, because if any enterprises has to survive and grow, they must have technology access and technology adoption, right? Technology is the way forward. All enterprises which will be slow or to change and adopt technologies will ultimately die. So the future in terms of technology will be either you adapt or you die. So here we basically are supporting all our enterprises, startups and MSMEs by providing them some of the latest technology products and tools that that they should be using. Not only they can come and access it from the platform, but they can also directly start using these certain free credits for their companies, where they can come and start using these things with, so let's say $1,000 or $100 or $200 free credit is available to all these startups and MSMEs through the platform. So similarly, there are other functionalities and other things that we are trying to provide to our startups and MSMEs across, access to knowledge being one of them. So there are a lot of let's say anyone who wants to start up a new business, or let's say a paper manufacturing business, or you want to start up your own design consulting business. So what we have done is across, we have basically produced videos which can help you go through. You can go through these videos and learn how do you set up these businesses from a very basic and very scratch thing. So one of the critical things, the critical aspect of our entire ecosystem is that very soon we will be coming to your campuses and interacting with all these, the engineering colleges, the management colleges, other degree colleges, and we will start onboarding all the students on this platform, where they can come, start discussions around your ideas. You can interact with mentors, you can discuss your ideas and feasibilities of those ideas on the platform, and also basically seek support from the platform in terms of building your own enterprise and the business viability of that, and the resources around, whether it be technology resources or financial resources around that thing. So I think in this Navratre, we are looking to launch this platform commercially in college campuses across India, and then the youth and the aspiring entrepreneurs through your e-cells or your incubation centers or acceleration centers or Atal incubation mission in your campuses, you can start availing and start coming on the platform and start availing and start your entrepreneurial journey through the platform. So I think Dr. Sharma, that's from my end for tonight, I think, and then maybe we can open up for questions. I'll be more than happy to take questions from the participants.
with finance, education, information. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful journey. Now, a few questions when your web portal is open,
Right.
right over here only, that you mentioned that soon your team would be coming to school, colleges, and engineering
Correct.
colleges and other places. How about the schools? How about the schools? The children, because now the coding is coming from sixth class,
Correct.
and children, those are completing their 12th. And if
Right.
they're interested to be a part somewhere, to be associated with you,
Correct.
if those do not want to go for direct higher education
Right.
further directly to the college or university,
Right.
that they can do online and all that. And if they want to be, so are you planning to go to some schools
Yes,
also?
absolutely.
Okay.
हमारे पास what we have is so schools में we what we have done is under the e-learning program we have a roughly around 150 hours का module which is a video content entirely and which talks about entrepreneurship mindset typically, right? What is entrepreneurship about? And this is world class video content is what we are talking about. What is entrepreneurship about? What are the critical elements both in terms of personal traits that either you should have, you should evaluate yourself, and also if not, then how can you build those traits over a period of time in terms of mindset, in terms of other skills that you require to be an entrepreneur. So it has been structured over 12 months slash 24 months depending on whether you're a 11th class student or a 12th class student, and it's spread across 150 hours of video content, self-explanatory content, coupled with a lot of engagement exercises, a lot of games that you can play to see as to how whether you've been able to grasp the concept of entrepreneurship and so on and so forth. So yes, schools, especially the 11th and 12th students, is one of our focus segment where we definitely want to seep the idea of entrepreneurship mindset into with them.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Because people, some people wanted to understand. Now, second part is because your efforts are so remarkable. What all you have packaged and you have brought in this portal, we would like to compliment you deeply,
Sure.
and our deepest and heartiest compliments to you on that. It's a remarkable.
Sure. Thank
Now,
you.
initially you mentioned there are two big challenges before somebody wants to get into entrepreneurship. The first part you mentioned that getting right information is a struggle,
Correct.
if I
Absolutely.
correctly remember.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you build up and you told what other struggles are there and all that. Would you be kind enough to give? Let's take a small. Somebody is interested to become an entrepreneur,
Sure.
right? So if
Hello. 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 अच्छा, I couldn't hear you. मैं एक मिनट वापस से रिज्वाइन करता हूँ फिर. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, now it's audible, I think.
It's basically back from the Zoom only somewhere. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
Sincere apologies on that because it was going on so well. People were enjoying, and Pratap Singh ji asked me a question from there. And your website, you want to get back again, or
Yes, yes. I'll quickly share that once again.
very kind of you.
I'll quickly get to the platform.
I just wanted to have that. Yes.
Sure, sure. Just a minute. I'll start that. Just give me a minute, please.
Please take your time. Take your time. And meanwhile, my little kiddies, I've already told you that once we finished with our distinguished guest, the main speaker of the evening, then we will have 5 of you working on to that. Okay.
So we're back. I think, are you able to see the platform?
Absolutely. Now,
Perfect.
the question we were taking at that point of time. So my question, which basically Pratap ji asked me, because there are a lot of people on the different watch parties also with me on the Facebook.
Sure.
Now he told me that please ask him that how long your organization will do the hand holding. Like, let's take it, somebody goes to any corporate house or any platform or anyone. initially they get skill, they get trained, they everything. Thereafter, they start their venture, they get their loan, they do the investment, they have all the things. So it takes a little time to get into the gear and to these smooth operations.
Correct.
So how long your organization would help, like for 1 year, for 2 years, like different models are there. Do you have
Correct.
anything of that kind, or you will give initial guidance?
No. So I think now, first of all, if you look at the data, right,
Hmm.
the success factor of any enterprise starts from the ideation stage.
Hmm.
Most of the entrepreneurs, basically ideas fail because either there was no market for the idea,
Hmm.
right? Either the market size was too small or the timing was not right.
Hmm.
Right? So I think first of all, what the validation that we are doing is at an ideation stage, whether let's say if you have an idea which you want to of a venture and which you want to start, right? The validation would happen at a market level, okay, whether the timing of this idea is right or not at this stage, because there are a lot of ideas which have failed because either they were too early into it or they were too late into it. Right. So I think that is one of the critical, if you look at the global statistic, 40% of the companies fail because the timing was not right for those ideas, right? So I think that's one of the critical things that we are basically doing. Second thing is, if you have an idea which is relevant, how large is the market size? Because unless there is a potential market of that thing and you are able to not generate revenue over a longer period of time, you will not be sustainable, and ultimately the organization will die will die down typically. So I think we are starting from that thing, and the ideas which we believe that yes, these have the potential ideas, and also there is a commitment from the entrepreneur, because starting initially the adrenaline rush, entrepreneurship is has picked up so very well these days. It's an inward, if I may use the jargon of the the millennial right now. It's an inward, but sustaining that journey is not very easy. So we also are looking to prepare, give you the difficult side of entrepreneurship, right? Because when we see today success case studies, when we see entrepreneurs, we see, let's say, the Binny Bansals and the Sachin Bansals of the Flipkart. We also see the Mr. Sharma, the Sharma ji of Paytms, and so forth. But what we don't see, there are thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs which were unsuccessful, which have failed. So one of the critical things that we are doing on the platform are bringing those failure stories, because what you can learn from failure, you can never learn from success. So what we are doing is, for the first time across India, we are going to companies and founders who have failed and asking them to share on the platform why do you think why they failed, and so forth. So I think we basically will prepare. The first of all is about the mindset, the idea validation, and if the idea is validated and the entrepreneur is committed, then the journey would be a longer journey that we want to onboard with them, something like a 3 to 5 years journey, where we help them grow and mobilize resources and help them scale up.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I think that answers most of the question which we have got over here. And we are at present, okay, fine. I think if you permit, we'll give 2 minutes each to these children, and thereafter we will come. Meanwhile, I'll just gather some questions from outside,
Sure.
and then we can just work on to that.
Sure, absolutely. Sure.
Thank you very much. With your permission, can I bring the children on the
Yes, absolutely. It'll be a pleasure to have them.
center stage? So your web portal, you got to be closing it. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Very kind of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Himanshu Pokhariya ji, and I'm sure you all must have understood, and you all must have got the complete ecosystem if you want to be an entrepreneur. And he gave one very good idea, and that is something which I never thought of. He says we are also going to gather a lot of stories of the failures, and once we know who are the failures, and they share, and I was trying to recollect something. In India, we tried to bring finishing school before time, 10 years before time. So when your timings are not right and you do not come to the right market at the right time, that's what he tried to give us. That was again a very valuable input from his side. So he had been kind to share a lot of insight with us, and I have requested him to be with us for next 5-7 minutes. Meanwhile, we will just do the justice with these 5 children, those who have come this evening, and it's a pleasure because both the things are being taken care of. It's a women empowerment also, women respect also, women encouragement also. It's a startup and stand up also, and at the same time, we got to save the water across the world because there should not be misunderstanding, misconception in the coming times as far as water is concerned. So going in a very ethical way, the person who came first in the evening, we got to give the respect. So Nidhi ma'am, Nidhi child, you came the first. So we give you the honor. First, you can share your thought process and then we can go ahead accordingly.
Sure, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
So first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this amazing webinar. So today, I'll be talking about water conservation.
You enjoyed Himanshu ji's entire inputs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to be an entrepreneur?
Sorry, sir?
You want to be an entrepreneur?
Yes, sir. I would love to be an entrepreneur.
Okay, child, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So coming to the water conservation, the thing is we all are conserving water in one or the other way. But the question is, are we doing it efficiently? So today I would like to talk about how we can conserve water with the help of technology, which is more efficient, which is more faster than humans. So when we think of water conservation, we never fail to give an example of switching off the water tap when we brush our teeth. But if we consider the time duration wherein we switch on the tap and switch off the tap, most of the water would be wasted in that duration. So, the solution for this problem would be installing motion detecting sensors in our faucets and taps, which is so much more efficient than humans. I would like to share the second point, that is, we can install rainwater harvesting systems at our homes. I personally have it in my home. So, this will not only help us to conserve water, but we can actually concentrate on the areas which have shortage of water and we can help them as well. So, the third point which I would like to highlight is we need to take the help of artificial intelligence. As we all know, coding would be installed or would be taught for the sixth grade students from now on. So, as and when the technology is being updated, we also need to adjust and be flexible according to it. So now coming to the educational aspects and the institute aspects, I would like to share one or two suggestions which will indirectly help to conserve water. So now we have online classes. So the teachers and the professors need to encourage students to use online resources, ebooks, rather than paperback edition, which is, I think, most of us don't do it. We prefer paperback or using books. But now, as and when we are moving forward, we also need to adapt that as well. One more thing, submission of online assignments can be done by typing it in a PDF format or a Word format rather than writing the assignments, scanning it, and then converting it to PDF. We don't save the sheets, but we are also saving the electricity as well. The last point I would like to mention is, while taking the printout, wherein the corporates mostly deal with papers and the sheets, we need to encourage them to take the printout back to back. So this would be a major change wherein we are not only using the both the part of the sheet, but also we are conserving electricity and water as well. So I would like to conclude by mentioning the beautiful property of water, that is, when we pour water into a cup, it takes the shape of the cup. So in that way, we need to adapt new technologies, be flexible, adjust to new things, and allow the technology to do its magic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, child. God bless you, Nidhi. God bless you, beta. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ambika, good evening, child.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, beta?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Okay, share your views. I hope you all are fine at home, wherever you are. Let's share your views. Let's share your views, child.
Talk about water conservation. It can be as simple as, like Nidhi mentioned, turning off the tap while you're brushing or while you're scrubbing your face. But obviously, that is not enough to conserve water, because the amount of water we end up saving or conserving is comparatively meager to the amount of water we end up wasting. And in a country like India, where every year we hear things like water scarcity and droughts happening and floods happening, so we need to start using new things to improve this. It can be as simple as maybe the next time we take a long hot water shower, reducing the amount of time, or the next time somebody asks us to go and wash the car, instead of washing it for 30 odd minutes with a hose, we should rather scrub it and use less water and end up actually using it and conserving the water, which is extremely precious to us. And seeing the current situation in our country, like the floods happening and everything, if we include, like Nidhi mentioned, like there's rainwater harvesting system at our home. If in all if in all our houses, if we include this one simple thing, which is rainwater harvesting, we can in fact like control the amount of floods happening, droughts happening, and everything in our country, and that is going to really help us out in future. And one more and one more thing I'd like to add is the most important point is we should spread the knowledge of why we should conserve water and how we should conserve water to our peers, our family, our acquaintances, which is like the most important point. And it starts at home. That's
Very,
all from my side.
very good. God bless you, beta. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vaishnavi, let's have you.
Hello.
Good evening, child.
Good evening. Sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and visible also. God bless you, child.
Thank you, sir.
Please go
So
ahead.
today I wanted to talk about water conservation in hotels. And one of the main things with water conservation is, while we are saving water, we also want to be sustainable doing it. We want to be self-reliant in the future, so that we are not only saving water for the present, but we're also doing it so that the future can sustain on its own. Now, in a hotel, the average utility bill, around 10% of the cost is for the charge of water. And generally, hotels pay for the water they consume twice. First, while purchasing the fresh water, and then when they dispose it off as wastewater. Now, out of this, 16% of the hotel's overall water usage is through laundry, and then the secondary is always through the bathrooms. Now, a lot of things can be done to conserve water. One of the things which definitely can be done is to identify the problem first, is to start measuring the water consumption and set tangible targets. So you have water meters so that you know where is your maximum water usage happening and where can you save water the most. And encourage the staff to put forward their ideas and reward them if their ideas are successful in saving water. In the laundry system in hotels, always ensure that your machines are on full load so as to not let water go to waste. And set target goals for department to have a set limit of how much water they must use in a month. Now, another concept can be grey water recycling. Similar to rainwater harvesting, grey water recycling actually uses water which was previously used for showering or bathing, and then after treatment and filtration uses it for non-potable purposes such as irrigation, laundry, and flushing of toilets. And using waterless or controlled flush rather than a continual flush will definitely save water by a lot. Then another thing is landscaping of hotels also use a lot of water. So try to use, instead of exotic foreign plants, use local plants which will be adaptable to the climate surroundings, so that you will have to use less water. So overall, I would just like to conclude by saying that in the end, we must not only think for our present, we must also think for the future and try to save water in a sustainable method. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, child. Thanks a lot. Very kind of you. I think the entire hospitality industry, which must be listening today in different places, in different parts, as it is, hospitality is passing through a very difficult times during this corona. Hospitality, tourism, retail, media entertainment, shopping malls, and of course, aviation sector also. They all would find out, because during this period, we are getting a lot of time to reskill, re-equip, reorient ourselves, what better can be done in our organizations. Great. Thank you very much. God bless you, child. Veena, great evening to you. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Veena, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
I have few points. So one of them is cleaning and maintaining the ponds and natural resources where the water, like there are so many places where the water gets naturally stored, but which cannot be used because of the pollution, or which get eventually dirty because of the human or natural calamities. So if the places are cleaned and maintained well, that can be used for the daily activities in the lifestyle. And the second one is the leakage and maintenance of the upkeep and the pipeline. So regular maintenance and upkeep of the pipelines on the external side ensures the chances of leakage and damage is extremely less. And the taking care of the connections internally will guarantee you the proper flow of the water and the clean water as well. The third point will be, as my colleague said, the rainwater harvesting in the public areas where you can conserve the waters by rainwater harvesting, and you can cover and store it at the ground level so that less volume of the water gets evaporated, and the same can be sustained for the longer period of time. And practicing afforestation near the ponds and rivers so that even there the evaporation is less, and like my colleague said, using of the meter in the public areas, so that installing the meters in the public areas can help you calculate and measure the water usage, and the necessary action can be taken if the water usage is very high.
Thank you, Veena. Let's get
Thank you,
Jay.
sir.
Jay,
Very,
are you there?
am I audible?
Yes, child. Please.
Very good evening to you and all the viewers. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity given. It was a very amazing webinar and I actually learned a lot. Now, coming back to my point about water conservation.
Are you going to start your own company, some entrepreneurship?
Who isn't going to, sir? One day, definitely.
Okay, God bless you. God bless you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Today I'm here to talk about water conservation in schools and other education institutions. So one of the very first points that I'd like to put out is rainwater harvesting. It's one of the oldest methods, the traditional methods. It's a very foolproof method, and it will take us it will help us with water conservation in the long run. The second point that I'd like to add is to go low flow. Low flow basically means that you use eco taps, which will provide 50% of the less water consumption in different organizations and institutions. Moreover, if at all these eco taps are not available, then you can add these low cost aerators. The third point that I'd like to add is that there are a lot of garden and lawn area in colleges and schools and universities. So setting up a team or a member or a club which will look forward to reducing water conservation or reducing water usage in these areas will help us increase water conservation. More importantly, the local nursery can also be contacted, and they can be asked about plants and other plants and shrubs which can be planted which use less water. Last but not the least, I'd like to say that the leakage and timely fixing of the taps will also lead us to conserve more water, and water conservation as a whole should be put in the syllabus of students so that everybody is
encouraged to participate and obviously to make India or any other country a more sustainable area and a more sustainable place to live in. That's all from my side. So thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Very kind of you. Because, as we are making the education more practical for day-to-day basis, we are trying to work in the direction that whatsoever we are learning, it should have application and utility in our day-to-day life. It should not be theoretical. So similar way, I personally feel that water conservation, water utilization, water consumption in every aspect, घर में कोई मिलने के लिए आता है, गिलास को पहले से भर के उसको पूरा दे देते हैं. So we got to pick up lot of new innovative techniques, small, which we have to work out. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I think let's compliment all these 5 kiddies. They have done wonderful job. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. You all have done wonderful. And let me now get the main speaker of the evening, and let me convey my deep thanks and gratitudes to him. And let's have the final words from him. Before that, there are a couple of questions. Himanshu ji, there is a principal who is asking that do you have any short duration course for elementary schools? Children, if they are interested to get into programs, something. Is your organization offering anything at school level?
Yes, as I said, at a school level, we definitely have entrepreneurship mindset typically, because what we have seen, because we at the hindsight, we also don't want everyone to start dropping out of school and say we want to be entrepreneurs for that matter, right? Because then tomorrow we have to solve a bigger problem in the ecosystem, right? So at that stage, what we are encouraging people to start taking entrepreneurship seriously, start evaluating whether start evaluating entrepreneurship as an alternative career option rather than just being jobs, right? Obviously as and when, because so I think for a school level, what we have is typically your entrepreneurship mindset programs, right? And certain competitions, and that we basically bring them on board through communities and other things where they can start building up their ideas, start bouncing off their ideas. I'm sure in some of these student kids, because I know a couple of students right in school, 11th and 12th, they have gone on to start their own companies, and they're doing pretty well over the last 5 years. So yes, absolutely. So I think right now we are restricting ourselves to entrepreneurship mindset and getting them involved, giving them live experiences of live projects, live business ideas, building up own business case studies, and so on and so forth. And over a period of time, when we see that they are mature, they have ripened enough to step into entrepreneurship, both from the education standpoint and also the mindset standpoint, we will extend all the support that would be required for them to start their own ventures.
Okay, very kind of you. Now, a few takeaways. First of all, in the schools, let's take it. Can we take 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, these four segments? Or would you like to more focus on 11th and 12th? What would be more appropriate?
So I think 11th and 12th will be most appropriate at this stage.
Okay.
Yes.
11th
yes.
and 12th.
Yes.
Okay. Now coming to polytechnics and ITIs.
Right.
We have got a lot of polytechnics and ITI, and our chamber is working very closely. And like the immediate former ambassador of Singapore, when he was here in India, and now he has gone back, the new ambassador has come. They were very keen to set up with us a couple of joint ventures and programs. And Singapore, because it takes a little better seat as far as the technical education, quality of education, couple of other things, we got to accept it. Although it's a small country, but they are focusing on education, and they have focused quite a bit on that.
Correct. Absolutely.
So are you also thinking to get across to polytechnics and ITIs?
Yes, absolutely. So I think there are two aspects when you are building a business, typically, right? One is, let's say, a technical aspect, and second is more like a non-technical aspect, because both, as if you're looking to start a business, right, as a founder of any business or an entrepreneur, both are very, very important. Not just having technical skills would not just do. On the other side, especially if you're a technology or any business, right, having a domain expertise plus people management and the mindset is also very critical. So a lot of these polytechnic students, what we have interacted, I come from engineering background. A couple of my batchmates were from polytechnic background too. I have no qualms in accepting a lot of these polytechnic guys are far more better equipped than even engineers in terms of technical knowledge, right? So I think what we are equipping them with is from the, again, mindset standpoint, interpersonal skill standpoint. What we found, a lot of these polytechnic students lack interpersonal skills, lack what are the other soft skills that are required to step into entrepreneurship. So I think those aspects is what we are looking to cover for these folks. So entrepreneurship is also on the radar.
Wonderful.
Basically.
Wonderful. Now, coming to the higher education, there was a new policy which had come earlier. It was called RUSA, Rashtriya Uchitar Shiksha Abhiyan.
Correct.
So when that policy was made, you would be so happy to know, if I put it polite way, that our chamber brought the first finishing school in India for service industry.
Oh.
When you talk about tourism, hospitality, retail, airlines, and when you mentioned soft skills, that is personally and particularly taking care of etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, dress sense, personality enhancement, and
Right.
eloquence and communication skills and connecting skills,
Right.
and of course preparing for the interviews to get into the jobs and all. And we are very happy that now if you go to the AICT website, you will see the concept on the home page itself, finishing school. They have got on the AICT itself. So we would be very happy that somewhere we can get closer, and our chamber would like to strengthen your efforts the best possible way,
Sure.
because there is one induction program now, 9,000 plus engineering colleges in India, and Professor Rajneesh Arora Sahab, who is the in charge in India for that entire induction program, because the child who comes after 12th, they are very tender. They go to a different place. They do not know school education and higher education when they're getting into. So earlier they faced a lot of challenges and difficulty. Now there is a beautiful 6-week program of induction, and all these skills are integral part of that. We would like that we should put you across to Professor Rajneesh Arora ji
Sure.
and his entire team also, and
Sure.
you can take up the journey from there as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, all the 5 kiddies, I would request you kindly switch on your cameras and kindly switch on your mics also. All the five kids of mine, kindly switch on your cameras and kindly switch on. And we got to clap for the celebrity of the evening today. Let's clap for him. And Ambika is caught because she's absent from the college. She's absent from the school. See, digital is so good, it can catch anybody at any point of time. So anybody who is not there, you get spotted within no time that you're not there. Oh, there she is now. So Ambika, you got to clap double now because you were not there earlier. Okay, so let's clap for him. Himanshu ji has given a wonderful thought process to all of us, and he has shared his vision so well. And we pray to Almighty for all the success for your venture, all the efforts what you have put in. They are so pious and they are so good. And these 5 kids, if you want to get your YouTube edited video, you please go on. By the time we close this session and we have the final word from him, please go on the YouTube, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page, log in over there and say, good evening, Himanshu ji, over there, so that we understand you have recognized the celebrity and you have conveyed your thanks to him. So from here, thank you very much for joining all the 5 girls. And let's have the final words from Himanshu ji. Himanshu ji, let's have the final word from your side.
Sure. So first of all, a round of applause for all these 5 kids from my end. You did a wonderful job, 5 of you. So I think building on from what you 5 have laid down, right? If we go back, I take pride in who we are as a civilization, right? Hindu civilization, Indian civilization. 5,000 years back, our Vedas, the people have that kind of intelligence back then, right? What you are talking of water conservation, our Vedas say that we have every right to milk the nature, but we have no right to exploit our nature. So I think what you are laying right now is typically that we need to be conscious that yes, we use what we require, but we also preserve it for our future generation. And hence milking is allowed as per our Vedas also, our civilization also, but exploitation is not. So I think we all need to be very, very very mindful of the fact that yes, that we should reduce our exploitation of all the resources, water being one of the most critical one of them, because we are nearly in India. I think just before this session, Dr. Sharma and I, we were talking, maybe Bangalore would be the first Indian city to be declared water dead, for that matter, right? So I think we need to, it will be a concerted effort across all of us across India, that we preserve it for the present and for our future generations. Yeah, so that's from my end, Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a treat to have you this evening with us. We all are going to enjoy your portal. We all are going to share more and more information from there. And we wish you all the best, all the luck, all the good days ahead. And also my great blessings to your daughter, well in advance. 14th of October is not very far.
Yes.
It's just on the way. It's coming. And
Yes.
she turns 6. So
yes, her name is Khyati Raje.
Wow, our blessings to her. May she enjoy each and every moment of her life and all the good deed what father is doing, and he's putting in so much of efforts. God bless.
Sure.
Remain well, remain fit, and ladies and gentlemen, when you're mentally fit, your body follows. That's what we have to take. So with these words, we say goodbye. Thank you very much. And green morning, green afternoon, and green evening to everybody wherever you are world over. Look forward meeting you tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. At the same time, all of us together. That's the way we will go ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.